And yeah, guys, sorry about that. This is part two of my Raw review. For some reason, like, I'm partnered with YouTube, but I don't know why my video can't go longer than 15 minutes, even though it says, congratulations, your videos are now enabled to go longer than 15 minutes. I don't know why the fuck it doesn't work, but I like doing two parts, so I wouldn't like to make a 30-minute long video anyway. So, yeah, this is part two. So yeah, back to like Vicky Guerrero. She was getting a shitload of heat, and couldn't even she didn't even say excuse me, which is surprising. But so anyway, then Dolph Ziggler comes out, followed by Sheamus, and then out next is Daniel Bryan, followed by John Morrison. So Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan, and John Morrison. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a good match. So it was a decent tag team match. It wasn't very long, but it was entertaining. Sheamus and Ziggler win after Sheamus hits Bryan with the high cross, or I guess he calls it the Pale Justice now. That's what Cole called it. And this I don't understand. Why couldn't it have just been John Morrison versus Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania? That would have been an absolutely spectacular match. I don't know why the fuck they have to add like a 4'7" like psychotic little chunky monkey, fucking Snooky. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, that was a good match. Sheamus wins with the Pale Justice, High Cross, whatever. So we see what happened between Punk and Orton earlier tonight, and then backstage they show Orton icing his knee, and locker room just looks really upset and shit. And Scott Stanford is there and asks him if Randy, if are you gonna make it to WrestleMania? Orton says, Scott, many people not know this, but I have anger management issues, and it was kind of funny. Um, says Orton's like, I've ended the careers of men I barely even knew. Uh, he says, I've never despised a human being more than CM Punk. And he says, your question, Scott, your question shouldn't be whether I'll make it to WrestleMania, but it should be, will Punk make it out? That was good little stuff right there. Send, their feud full force in the Mania. So then we get hyped for the Rock segment later. We go to commercial, and back from commercial, we see the final inductees into the WWE Hall of Fame. And it's the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, and their manager, I believe. I forget what, Paul Ellering or something like that. I apologize. I forget what his name was, but it's about time, in my opinion. Hawk and Animal, I mean, damn, the late Hawk, that is. R.I.P. Yeah. Um, so that I'm really excited about that. I didn't know how they were. They won every tag team championship in every promotion they worked for. That's fucking awesome, man. I think they're gonna be the greatest tag team of all time. Um, yeah. Unfortunately, I was too young. I was like 2 or 3 at the time when they were really in their prime, or wrestling the old like golden age WWF. So I wish I was a little older so I could have watched their shit. Because they looked just awesome, dominating. So yeah, I'm really happy. Finally, some deserving guys in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, bravo to WWE for that. Then we get a Snooki Trish segment in Jersey, where Snooki just looks. Josh Matthews is asking them questions, and Snooki looks fucking bomb. This is why I said they wanted to do this segment like at a certain time, like early in the morning, um, fucking during the day, I guess. With Snooki was just drinking all day, so they had to do it later in the day, and she looked hammered. um, but what can you expect? So yeah, basically Snooki's like, oh, Trish has trained me really well. I've got some sick moves, and I'm ready for WrestleMania, whatever. And Lake will walk in, and Snooki, throws her drink at Layla, and then full out brawl ensues, and Snooki and Layla go at it while Trish and Michelle getting it on. Um, Tons of cursing here, just beep everywhere, like bitch, like shit, and basically that segment ends with Trish and Snooki are telling Lake Cool they'll see them at Mania, bitches, and you could clearly see them saying it. They edited it out. Come on now. And then so the Rock Cena Miz Showdown's up next. At this point, I was just so giddy, like I cannot fucking wait. Commercial back from commercial, we see the Rock. It looks like he's standing right outside the curtain, and crowd pops big time. Rocky chants start, and Rock's music hits, and out comes the People's Champ to a really nice pop. Uh, when his music finally, stops playing after he does his poses and shit, just Rocky chants all throughout the Allstate Arena, really loud, just great shit. Rock says he's finally Rock has come back to Chicago, back to the city where all started for the Rock. He says it's a very special city. He competed his first WrestleMania in this ever in this very building. Rock says he was nervous, but he decided to bring that night. But he decided to do something that changed the rest of his life. I decided to bring it, And he says that night was the unofficial birth of Team Bring It. He says Team Bring It is not like a facade or whatever. It's kind of like a shot at, C Nation or whatever. It's not like fake or whatever. Rock says when you're on Team Bring It, you have dreams. He said he had a dream the other night where he came out and called out John Cena. Uh, Cena sucks chants start loud ones. I mean, you can't even hear anyone booing them out, like the kiddies. And then he calls Cena a homeless Power Ranger, which, oh man, thought that was fucking great. Um, he says he woke up and this is reality. He says the great one is here. He says he's not alone. He's never alone. He's here with the millions and millions. Then out comes Cena to a chorus of boos, and then Cena says, "This is what he wanted. The Rock is back in the WWE ring." Cena tells Rock this is where he belongs, and I'm like, okay, what is this? And then Cena asks Rock, "Here's the people chanting his name." Cena says, few years ago, uh, when he opened his mouth about him, he was one of the millions. And Cena's basically looks like Cena was kissing the Rock's ass here. Cena says when Rock came back and mentioned his name, he felt honored. Cena, asked The Rock, he says, "What's the problem you have with me?" And like very loudest Cena suck. I'm just not just saying this because I dislike Cena, but there were very loud Cena sucks chants started up around this time. I mean I haven't heard that clear Cena sucks chants in a while without anyone boos trying to uh, fade out that the other chant. So it was, awesome to hear that. Obviously, Chicago fans hate Cena. If you look at the match between Triple H and Cena at WrestleMania 22 in that same building, the fans were chanting "Fuck you, Cena!" like so clearly, and like you could see Cena was like looking around. He's like, "Really? Like, what the fuck?" And that was probably one of the best moments I've ever seen with a crowd. But and so Cena sucks chance started. Cena says, "I'll get to that in a second." Cena says, "I guess The Rock has a problem with my color, like the shirts and my hustle, loyalty, respect. Would you say was hot garbage?" And Rock, you say all my fans are kids. And then Cena says, "You damn right." And, I'm proud of it. And I was just like, get out of here, man. Um, Cena actually, he was pretty intense in this. I give him that. Cena cuts good promos, and he can put on good matches. Um, but so yeah, Cena actually he did a really good job on the mic tonight. But I was just like, wow, Cena. And they should no. The funniest part when he says, "All my fans are kids." They showed one kid in the crowd with a Cena hat and shirt, like looking all sad and shit, and I couldn't help but get a cheap little chuckle out of it. Then he says, every week, Cena says, "Every week I walk down here as myself, and Rock or no one can change that." I'm damn proud of it or whatever. And says, Rock says, "You're right, Cena. I'm not gonna." Oh, and Cena says, "You can't judge me for where I am or whatever." And Rock says, "You're right, Cena. I'm not gonna judge you. The only one who can judge you is the good Lord." The Rock says, "The good Lord, though, can't stop me from whooping your monkey ass all over Chicago." And Cena says, "I've said everything I wanted to say to your face. You want to fight? Like, I'm here." And drops the mic. Now comes The Miz with Alex Riley, and Miz is, in a suit and shit. And Miz says, "Really? This is how it's going to be?" Being overshadowed by the big O's, points at Rock, says, "Overhyped." Then looks at Cena, says, "Overrated." Miz tells Rock, says Rock, he knows a secret. He says, "Rock is not, you're not gonna do a damn thing tonight." He says, "You don't want to risk it, like big movie star, like your movies have been grossed over $1.2 billion." And Miz says, "If you even look at me the wrong way tonight, I'll beat you down so badly." And then Miz says, "Rock won't do anything because he's the Miz and he's awesome." Rock gets to the Miz face, says, "By now you should know, Miz, it doesn't matter what you think." And then Alex Riley attacks Rock from the side. So then Miz and Alex Riley are beating the Rock down the corner. And Rock fights back. His right hand's on the Miz or Alex Riley, lays the smackdown, sends him over the top rope, then hits a DDT on the Miz, nips up, um, and the crowd popped big time. And hits the people's elbow. The crowd went nuts when he stepped up and he did this, like, since he had no elbow pads on, just had his, I bring it, um, hits the people's elbow, better than ever on Miz, and then Cena back in the ring, and he FUs the Rock, and then he does his, like, "You can't see me," so Raw goes off the air, with the Rock down the ring looking up at Cena, who's at the top of the stage pointing at the Minitron where it says WrestleMania 6 days away. And then he does his, So Raw goes off there with that. So besides that, Cena FUing The Rock, which I didn't mind because I saw that was gonna happen either tonight or WrestleMania. So, but I thought tonight's Raw was just fucking awesome. There wasn't really wrestling like expected, just build up for WrestleMania. The Taker Triple H segment, I thought, in my opinion, was just it was really well done, and Shawn Michaels making an appearance was awesome, and I really wonder if he's gonna be at WrestleMania. Well, obviously he's being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I would not be surprised if Shawn plays a part in that match Sunday. Um, and that sorry about that fucking weird mark on my arm. And then the Orton Punk feud, that's looking good going to Mania, and the Rock Cena Miz, that whole thing. Uh, I thought Rock would like nip up after the FU, but of course you have to wait till WrestleMania to see the rock bottom on Cena, hopefully in people's elbow. Um, God, a rock bottom on Cena tonight really would have done it for me. But yeah, anyway, it was a good Raw. Nonetheless, I really enjoyed it. It was always great seeing Rock. He was awesome on the mic again, as always. The tag team match was okay. Again, that core match that got announced for WrestleMania, the core versus Kane and Big Show, which is fine, but then Santino and Kozlov getting added, I just don't get it. Yeah, I just don't understand it. There's so many guys being left off WrestleMania. I wonder if they'll, announce a match Friday on SmackDown. So I don't know. But there was no diva shit tonight either, which is good because they didn't have Michael Cole, interrupting their matches again. But yeah, I really enjoyed Raw tonight. I mean, this is what crowds should be like. This crowd tonight was fucking awesome. Kudos, props to you, Chicago. You guys are a great WWE city. Man, just fucking awesome. Not dead like some of these fucking, I don't know, just deadbeat fucking crowds we've had recently. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, and sorry, I'm bringing this up. But I just had the stress when I was, talking about Rock's, what he was saying earlier tonight about how he was dreaming and shit. And I had the strangest dream last night that I was at WrestleMania. I went to WrestleMania 27 with my mom, out of all people, and Snooki, and we had ringside seats, which was awesome. But I just remember looking up, at the Titantron when I was walking to my seat, and they were showing the matches for tonight, and I saw like Kurt Angle up on there, and at first I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I saw like a bunch of weird shit, like these matches that didn't make any sense. Like the Undertaker match, it was like Undertaker, Great Khali, and Triple H versus uh, Edge, Christian, and someone else who I didn't even know had any business being in a wrestling ring, but it was just really fucking weird. And I remember the night ended, I was like, wait, what happened to Cena Miz, like the Rock shit? And it was just really weird. I just really felt like I was gonna talk about that in my preview for Raw, but forgot about it. I just thought I'd share that. It's really fucking weird. But I guess it's WrestleMania season, so I'm dreaming about it. It's fucking weird, but yeah, guys, Raw was really awesome tonight. I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania 27 more than ever now. This Sunday, live on pay-per-view. Unfortunately, I obviously won't be there live, but I'll be hopefully streaming it from my laptop. I'm gonna do everything I can not to fucking miss this. Yeah, so let me know what you thought of the show. Comment, subscribe for those of you who haven't. And another thing, I really hope, Rock. Seen people make videos about this. I really hope Brock and Cena aren't in cahoots, and like, Brock ends up like helping Cena win the title at WrestleMania. Then they raise like hands, they shake hands at the end of the match. Like, really, especially after Cena FU'd you tonight, Rock, and you can't see me. I just don't see that happening. I think Rock's got something planned. I have a sneaky feeling, guys. Rock is going to be around to wrestle a couple times later this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of those matches is against Cena. That's just me. I have a hunch. So yeah, I really hope Cole catches a series of stunners at WrestleMania. I want him to be beat to a bloody pulp, and yeah. So hope you enjoyed Raw tonight, guys. Let me know what you thought. If I forgot anything, mention in the comments. I'm out. Peace.